What happened in Key West during the Great Depression could be the plot of a Hollywood musical. It would begin with a young Judy Garland, wearing a modest but threadbare sundress, pulling a small wagon down trash-lined streets. She would pass the abandoned Navy Yard, crumbling factory buildings, and boarded-up storefronts. She would walk by the bustling corner saloon, waving and calling, "Hiya, Joe," to the bartender. Nearing the town's only hotel, she would park her wagon under a palm tree and say hello to the street vendors nearby. The couple with two adorable tykes selling coconuts, the old fisherman selling his day's catch from a bucket. She would pull aside the burlap covering her wagon to retrieve her handwritten sign, "Limes for Sale," and a small crate to sit on. Maybe she would sing dreamily about what Key West used to be like, when the streets were filled with soldiers and sailors and factory workers and tourists and fishermen and divers, where she could enjoy the beauty of the island without worrying about having enough to eat. The song over, the camera would zoom out to show no buyers in sight for any of the vendors, who all looked weary and forlorn, a stark contrast to the beautiful beachside scenery. But soon, an earnest young man would approach, played by Mickey Rooney, striding confidently, wearing shorts and holding a clipboard. "Hey, everybody," he would call. "Let's put on a show." Key West had fallen mightily from its perch as the wealthiest town in the United States back in the 1880s. Beginning in the mid-1920s, the island lost its pineapple canning and cigar-making factories, all its military posts, Navy, Army, and Coast Guard, its fishing and sponge diving industries, its status as a port of call for passenger ships, and its rail line. The Key West economy was already shaky before the Wall Street crash of 1929, and by 1934, it was, by some measures, the U.S. town hit hardest by the Depression, with its city government in debt estimated at $5 million. Storefronts stood empty in dilapidated buildings. Trash accumulated on the streets as regular garbage collection ceased. As people left the island to look for work elsewhere, its population dropped from nearly 20,000 in 1920 to about 12,000 in 1934, with more than 3/4 of those who stayed now unemployed and on the federal relief rolls. After visiting Key West in the spring of 1934, Harper's Magazine reporter Elmer Davis wrote that those not on relief seemed to be living mostly by selling rum to one another. Key West was more than just broke. It had lapsed into a state of mass melancholia.